Alright, I'll tell you what, this is like brain teaser number, I don't know how many on this job so far. It is driving me insane. So doing the timing chains on this, right, it's the 3.6 litre Alloytec that's renowned for stretching timing chains, and you can see mine are stretched, or they were, but depends on how you turn these, the slack moves around. So this was super slack before and rattling around like crazy, and now it's tight. So, you know, suddenly I've got like slack in spots where I didn't have slack before, and then I've got tight in spots where it wasn't tight before. So all these tensioners run on oil pressure, by the way. So when there's no oil in your motor, or you're running really low oil, these won't tension unless they're fully extended. Then they've got a safety pin in there that blocks it from going back in. So if you do lose oil pressure in your motor, it'll hold your guide out at full extension, or hard as it can. So these will rattle, but they'll still run at that position unless they're really stretched. And you stretch them by heating them right up and then flogging the guts out of your motor with no oil in it. So you make sure that you have good ventilation out of the PC valve in your rocker cover. Anyway, all that, there's a great big story to go along with it. Right in under here, there's a timing mark on the crank sprocket, and right down here on the oil pump there's a dot. So you line those two up, right? I don't know, you know, you look straight onto it and they line up. So you'll know by whether it's at the compression stroke, because you've got top dead center here. So you get an innocuous little plastic thing, or a long chopstick or something, stick it in there. When it's right at the peak at the top, you know that it's at top dead center on piston 1. Okay, driver's side in Australia, other side in USA. So what you got to do is come back here and make sure that the flats of the tops of the cams are there, so you can put your cam locking tools on there, okay, and stop it from moving when you take the chains off. So you go over this side and you put the other cam locking tool with the angles on this one. If they don't all go on at the same time, it means that your engine's been out of timing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be out of timing to need new timing chains, especially if your guides are at full extension. So if they can't tighten anymore because the pressure, they're you know, it's that stretched, that mine have come out like over 6 mil. So once that's all done, you take all the chains off in this position. So you're in this crank position. Then you put the left bank shiny links onto the L here, and through this window, which is like down here on the idler sprocket, left hand bank idler sprocket. When you can see the shiny link through there. You put your tensioners on, your guides on, and then you tension up and you pull a little grenade pin. Then you put this on, the crank sprocket, the main chain. Then after you do the same, put your guides and your tensioner on for your main chain. If you're changing the oil pump, do the oil pump first and make sure that you mark your main crank sprocket so that you know where your chain, it's got a little key anyway, like a Woodruff key, so don't worry about it, it goes on in one way. So you put your oil pump on, don't touch this guide, new oil pump will have a new guide on it, so you just leave it. And then there's another timing mark hidden right down in under here. See that little dot? So you turn the crank from back here all the way around to line up with this dot. What that will do, now don't forget to take the cam locking tools off the backets of the cams at this stage. So you take them off, you turn your crank round to that 115 degrees around to the 9 or 8 o'clock mark. Then you put the last chain on. Okay, so in this position you're taking everything off, putting this chain on, putting this chain on, winding it round to the 8 o'clock position, then putting the last chain on. But before you do that, you set the cams by using these little hexagonal spanner shapes here. Get your shifter and just turn them clockwise until this is flat like this one is now. So you flatten the backs of your cams out so that this tool that's on this one in stage 1 goes on to this one, and vice versa. So that tool should slide onto here, and then you know it's in the right position to put this tool on here by turning camshafts individually, because you haven't got a chain attached to it. Then you put that chain on and you line your shiny links up with the R right bank and right bank, which is down here. Oh no, beg your pardon, here. So you'll have right bank, it'll be over here somewhere, and right bank here, it'll be up here somewhere, because you've done the 110 degree turn. Okay, does that make sense? Oh bloody hell, doesn't to me, but I'm going to do it anyway and see what happens. And if I turn it and, you know, valves hit pistons and I blow the bloody thing up, I've just wasted $2 grand. It's nothing I need to worry about.